Hey guys, this is Nisi of Spoil Me Nisi, back with another video. So today I want to give my reaction to the movie American Skin, which was released on January 15th, 2021, this year. It was directed by Nate Parker, which is pretty awesome. Um, if you haven't already seen this movie, just to let you know, first of all, you should see it. And second of all, this video is going to have a crap ton of spoilers in it. So if you haven't already seen it, just beware and let's get into it. So, American Skin was certainly an experience. I haven't been left speechless by a movie or show in quite some time. And I must say that me and my husband, we just kind of, when the movie went off, we just kind of had to like take a second and take a deep breath and kind of take it all in. It was an emotional roller coaster, and it was just kind of, it was just kind of a lot in a good way. Um, First, I want to say that I really love the cast. I really love that Nate Parker directed it. As I said already, if you're not familiar with who that is, he played Nat Turner in Birth of a Nation, and he did an outstanding job. And he played in some other movies, but that's the main movie that I know him of. And he brought that same passion and intensity into this movie, and it was really nice to see. I like that Sierra Capri was in this movie. She stars in a Netflix original called On My Block, which is a show. It's like a show about some teen kids, and it was kind of nice seeing her play in like a more serious movie. Amari Hardwick is in this movie as well. He doesn't have a lead role, but it was nice seeing him in the movie, and he plays a guy who's actually dying from cancer. So that was nice to see as well. Y'all know I love Power, and seeing Amari Hardwick is great. If we can't have Ghost, we can have Amari in other movies. So, Theo Rossi, I like seeing him in the movie as well. He is from the show Sons of Anarchy, which is another one of my faves. It was on AMC, went off some years ago. He played Juice. I did not like his character in the movie, but I think he did a kick butt job playing the character. So that was pretty good as well. So there were, some other characters as well in the movie that I really enjoyed seeing. So I really liked that about it. Um, the story itself, I really enjoyed it. Now, from what I read online, American Skin is not based off of one particular story. It's a fictional story, but I guess it's based off of like just a whole bunch of stories. But it's not based off of one person in particular. It's not based off of some guy named Lincoln Jeffries and his son, Kaj Jeffries. They're fictional characters. But I must say that the story itself kind of hit home for me a little bit because of the DJ Henry story. It's the story of Kaj Jefferson in the movie was very similar to the DJ Henry I guess story that took place in Westchester, New York, maybe around 10 or 11 years ago. That was a very big deal for those of us. Me, I lived in Westchester, New York, and it was a really big deal because he was a good kid, good parents. Was in a college. He wasn't. They couldn't paint. No one could paint him as like a hoodlum or a bad person. And his life was, taken by a police officer, and that was a really big story that took place, all those years ago. It was a lot that went into it. So the story in this movie was very similar to that, so in the movie, the main character, Lincoln, or they call him Link in the movie, played by Nate Jeffries. He's pretty much a good man. He's raising his son. He takes his son out of the inner city schools and puts him into a school that's predominantly white in hopes that, it would, better his life and better his situation. But in the end, it did have some downfalls. The movie touches bases on, systematic racism and how the schools are affected by that, and I think that was pretty genius how they included that. I know individuals that are still not 100% sure what people mean when they say systematic racism, but it's definitely outlined in this show. They don't come out, and say, oh, this is whatever, whatever, but is happening in the show. And I say in the movie, sorry. And I say that because, when they show flashbacks of Link's son, Kaj, they show that he's talking to one of his friends who, is a black kid from an inner city school. And he's pretty much telling the black kid, like, the Supreme Court ruled that you can fight back at the police. You have a right to defend yourself, whatever. You can, you don't have to just take it. If you feel like what they're doing is unlawful, you can defend yourself, whatever. And then the black kid is telling him, that's not true. You actually cannot do that. What are they teaching you at this school? His friend is like looking at him on FaceTime, like, dude, you're crazy. You cannot do that, that just basically shows that, these schools that are predominantly white, they are molding children's brains to think differently from how the schools in the inner cities are teaching these kids. In schools that are predominantly white or in other neighborhoods, they teach kids to have more of like a free mindset, whereas in the inner city schools, they don't. All those kids know that, you absolutely cannot fight back. And if you do, there's repercussions. Whereas in the schools that are predominantly white, according to the movie, they're teaching them that you can fight back and, the law will protect you, and then you kind of see Lincoln, trying to explain that gray area to his son where, there are laws that protect you, but there is a gray area. And his son really did not understand that, which is why when the police stopped them, he took out his phone. He wasn't really complying like his dad was trying to tell him to, and the police officer, used bad judgment and pretty much shot the kid in the back and killed him. He was 14 years old in the movie. Again, fictional character. I thought that was pretty genius. It was pretty awesome that they kind of showed all of that in the movie, So in my opinion, the movie was kind of like one big circle. You see the main problem of the movie and you see all these different things that contributed to that. You see that, that kid's mindset and how, he was taught in his school contributed to, I guess how he acted in the movie. Didn't make him at fault for what happened to him at all. He was the victim, but it did kind of set him apart from his dad, and they had some differences in that way. Once his father, overtakes the precinct, and he gets some hostages and takes all the cops hostages, he brings out some prisoners, and, the father and his group plus the prisoners and the cops, they all kind of have a conversation that is needed. It got really heated in the movie, and I like that the movie allows you to see both sides of it. It allows you to see, how the police officers feel, and it allows you to see that, despite what maybe the media will show you or whatever, these are human beings, and they have a way of viewing these things as well. And and then it allows you to see that the people on the other side, the black and brown people, they are human as well, and they have, opinions as well and feelings, and everything just kind of came full circle in the movie into a conversation that got really heated and certainly should have happened. So during the movie, they lead you to believe that Lincoln is going to kill the police officer that killed his son. During the movie, I'm just sitting here hoping that he does not kill that cop. I've read some other comments, about the movie. I know a lot of people were upset that he didn't kill the police officer, but while watching the movie, I'm like, this man is going to jail. Even though, I can kind of sympathize with him being a parent. I get where his pain comes from. He's still committing a crime by taking over that precinct. So he's going to go to jail. He'll get more time if he kills that cop. So the whole movie, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't kill that police officer. The crazy thing is that he ends up sparing that cop's life. He just wanted the cop to feel the way that he felt. And there was a message that he was getting across in the movie. And you can tell, he got that message across with, with some of the police officers, and with others, I guess he didn't. But in the end, that same cop that killed his son tried to use his own life as a human shield to protect Lincoln when they were leaving the precinct, but Lincoln ended up getting shot and killed anyway. So after that whole roller coaster that you go through in the movie, the main character decides to take the high road, and forgive, Officer Mike, the one that killed his son in that moment. And like right after he forgave him, he ends up getting killed, and then that's like the end of his story, So, that scene when, he ends up getting shot, it's just like, wow, I don't know. It just kind of like one of those like silencing scenes, it's just like, it was just kind of crazy. Now me personally, I feel that if he would have killed the police officer, then he either way, he wasn't leaving that situation by going to jail. Either way, they were going to kill him. I think. But I just think it's crazy how they made it end that way. I do like how after everything was done in the movie, I like how they showed how in the media and in the news, they just talk about, the situation with the kid dying and the father dying like it's any old thing, and then move on to the next topic. You know what I mean? It's interesting how the media kind of, oh, just another black guy passes away, So, while watching that unfold and seeing how like the wheels kind of turn like in the world and in the media, it was really interesting to see. So me personally, if I had to rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this movie I would say a 9. I think it was really good. I think it was excellent. I think that everyone should watch it, especially right now in the United States. Everyone should watch it. I think that, this is the kind of movie that should be shown in all schools, inner city schools, as well as schools that are not so inner city, or like, schools that are like predominantly white, because I think that, there are a lot of things that, can contribute to there being overall peace, but in the end, I think that when people see the opposite sides, their viewpoint, or I guess their point of view, I think that kind of helps people come to an equal medium. But what do I know? But in the end, I have a certain way that I view things as well, but watching the movie, it does kind of make you question things. And the interesting thing about that is Officer Mike, the one that kills the kid in the movie, at the end of the movie, he told the father that he is now questioning everything that he thought before. And that's really, that really hit home, because while I'm watching the movie, at the end of the movie, I was then questioning some things myself as well, because again, it has you see all sides, and, you see characters that you can relate to, in the movie. And even those characters that you can relate to by the end of the movie, their mind is just kind of like, in a weird place. Like me personally, I definitely related to Jordan King, the kid that played the main kid in the video group. So yeah, I don't know. It was really good. So if you haven't seen the movie already, I highly recommend that you see it. I rented it from Amazon Prime Video for about $6. And me and my husband watched it together, and we both just, like I said, we were speechless by the end of the movie. It was just that good. So I hope that you liked my reaction to this awesome movie. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. If you have any comments about it, if you've already seen the movie, let me know in the comments. I would love to have a conversation about it. And make sure that you like and share. And until next time, peace.